I'm Fred Macaulay, and welcome to the start of our Hogmanay celebrations on BBC Scotland. We're kicking off with Scots in the Box, a quiz that celebrates 60 years of television in Scotland. Let's meet my guest. She's a master of mimicry. Only Lulu's got more accents. It's comedian and actress Ronnie Ancona. And on her team is a Scottish actor who's appeared in Taggart and Braveheart, although I've yet to meet a Scottish actor who hasn't. He's Alex Norton. And with them, a performer who won the Scottish Comedian of the Year, which came as a surprise. He was only trying to get a goldfish. It's Mark Nelson. Our other team captain you'll recognise from Still Game, but he also presented 2 weeks of STV's The Hour, which, if you do the maths and add it all up, comes to a lifetime. It's comic actor Sanjeev Kohli. With him, an ex-lawyer who was never called to the bar, which is lucky, as she'd definitely been asked for ID. It's comedian Susan Calman. With them, head and shoulders above all other TV historians, because he's worth it, and because I'm jealous of his beautiful hair, it's Neil Oliver. Tonight, I'll be testing my panellists' knowledge of classic Scottish telly from the comedy, entertainment, drama and news archives. Let's get on with the show. This round is called Hit the Telly. If Poundland sold televisions, this is what you'd get. And change. It may only have 2 channels, but through the magic of TV, it's currently holding the entire Scottish telly archive. So, when my panellists tell me, I'll hit it, and they'll then play a clip, and I'll ask them a question. It's as simple as that. This is for Team Sanjeev. Tell me when to hit it.
Hit it.
What were you two old fishwives gossiping about?
Oh, hey, less of the old.
And less of the fish.
Well, natter not, for I have something special to tell you.
You are a man.
No!
You're a woman.
No! Oh! Less of the gender jibes, you carroty little dwarf.
Ah, Shona, please, it's Titian.
No, it's African sunset.
Sanjeev's team, that was The High Life from 1995, shown on the BBC, featuring Alan Cumming, Forbes Masson and Siobhan Redmond. But what was the fictional Scottish airline they flew for?
Well, they should have called it High Road.
Yeah.
But they didn't, did they?
No.
What did they call it?
McLeod 9.
Up high the noon.
Stramash. There's no food.
What about, instead of Chalks Away, Jocks Away? That's a good name for a Scottish airline.
It was Air Scotia, I'm sure
Air
it's called.
Scotia, you reckon? The airline was called Air Scotia. The High Life, a great series, although I've never met flight attendants that rude in real life. They're usually ruder. They certainly will be now. Ronnie, tell me when to hit the telly.
No.
Tease.
Now, are you into obstacles? Because I wasn't until this show started, because now I'd like you to meet the biggest obstacle in my life at the moment. Here's Rhoda.
And here we are with the winner of the fancy dress competition, the last one of the series. What's your name, darling?
Russell.
And where do you come from, Russell?
Grieve Road.
Grieve Road. How old are you?
5.
Who made your costume, Russell?
Grandpa.
Did he take a long time to it?
No.
Did he? No? And you were telling me just, do you like oxo cubes?
No.
Oh dear, he doesn't even like oxo cubes.
That was the Untied Shoelaces show from BBC Scotland in 1983. Unfortunately, we cut before Rhoda McLeod could explain that there are other massive talking stock cubes available.
Can I just say how much of a shame it is for that kid to go back to school on Monday? The bullying he will have got. I saw you on the telly at the weekend and then just throw water on him and go, there you are. There you are, stock cube.
That costume, to be fair, looked like it had been fairly well made.
I would agree.
That was a good costume. That wasn't a...
It was
like,
excellent.
You know, my mum once made me carry a plant pot with a sign on it saying Calman's Gardening Centre. And that was my Halloween costume. That costume took some work.
You probably saw Tiger Tim Stevens at the beginning of the clip, but do you know how he got his tiger nickname? Ronnie.
He only ate raw meat from the end of a stick. And also, if you turned your back on him, he'd kill you.
Is it because he cheated on his wife and sometimes played golf?
Oh, nice one.
I think I might know the origin of the name.
Well, let me give you the clues. It was either A, he was named after the cartoon character Tiger Tim by a man named Big John who Tim had worked with at British Rail, or B, was after Tim bravely saved a man from a tiger attack in India, or C, because he turned up for a job interview at Radio Clyde wearing a skin-tight tiger outfit.
I think it's the Radio Clyde.
I think it's the Radio Clyde. Do you think it's Radio
Outfit one.
We think it's the Radio Clyde.
Believe it or not, it is actually all three, and that was confirmed by Tiger Tim himself. Now, you might have noticed the man sitting next to Tiger Tim wearing a wee Willy Winky outfit. I don't know how he got his nickname. Here he is.
Yep.
Anybody know who that is?
Danny McGrain.
Danny McGrain.
Danny McGrain.
It was indeed Danny McGrain, legendary footballer, 62 caps for Scotland, although here he looks like he's contemplating a transfer to Aberdeen. When the Untied Shoelaces show was eventually taken off the air, it was replaced by a more modern-sounding show called Velcro, The Sticky Years. Sanjeev, tell me when to hit the telly.
Oh, hit it now, Fred.
When you go for your breakfast, be sure you always take a good plate of Unitas breakfast oats. The value of them lies in the fact they're appetizing, and eating them good health in you promotes. When once you taste their flavour, forevermore you'll favour Unitas breakfast oats.
Takes me right back to this morning. These days, most Scottish families would only be that happy in the morning if they'd found out that they'd run out of Unitas porridge oats and that they could have a bacon roll instead.
I don't have children, and just because the cats would get annoyed at them. But when I was growing up, my dad never took us by the arm and had a wee jolly dance before we all sat down. I find that quite sinister.
Can we have a wee look at that again? Because I think, even though it's black and white, you can still tell the wee boy's hair's ginger. You know what I mean? That Unitas porridge advert was first broadcast in 1957. Team Sanjeev, can you tell me what important event happened TV-wise in Scotland that year?
Well, it was too early to go colour, isn't it?
Was it the first edition of Super Scots?
I think I know the answer. Can I come in on this?
Yes, go on.
I think it was when STV opened.
You do, Alex?
I do.
I think you're absolutely right. 5 years after BBC Scotland started, the commercial channel Scottish TV began broadcasting at 5:30 p.m. on Saturday the 31st of August 1957. It was with the variety special This is Scotland, live from Glasgow's Theatre Royal Studios. Let's take a look.
This is Scotland, and your host, James Robertson Justice.
Good evening. This is Scotland, a land of sunshine and cloud, a land proud and ancient as history itself, yet young, strong, and vital as the flowers that bejewel our northern summer.
Even though that was in black and white, I think it's pretty clear that James Robertson Justice's beard was ginger. In those early days, it was said STV only owned two pieces of equipment, one to show westerns and another to show the commercials. In the digital age, they now have a third that plays episodes of Columbo. Ronnie's team, tell me when to hit the telly.
Okay. Go on, now.
Oh, lads, we're actually looking quite low on fuel, so I suggest we stop, you know, for CHIPS. I'm talking CHIPS. They are C, they're crispy. H, they're wholesome. I, amazing. P, perfection. S, ships. Come on, John, go sing it.
No.
I said sing it!
No.
Come on, sing it! It's not singing it! Oh,
Brilliant.
That was the brilliant Gary Tank Commander, performed and written by Greg McHugh, shown on the BBC in 2011. Can you tell me, what nickname did Gary give to his tank?
Widdicombe.
Widdicombe.
Tank Sinatra. I can't believe I actually said that.
Actually, Ronnie, you're not so far off the mark because it was kind of musical.
I think I know the answer.
Different era. Oh, Sanjeev thinks he knows the answer.
Is it Meatloaf?
You think it was Meatloaf?
I think it was Meatloaf.
Oh, he's right. I can't bear him.
It was indeed Meatloaf. Oh. Now, in the show, some of the Afghanistan scenes were actually filmed in Clydebank, which led to many letters of complaint from the people of Afghanistan. Sanjeev, will you tell me when to hit the telly, please?
Hit the telly.
This is 213. I think I'd like a change of room.
That was, of course, the glowering Ian Cuthbertson in Charles Endell, Esquire. And even though it's in colour, I think you can tell his hair is ginger. It was made in STV in 1979. He was famous for a catchphrase during the show. Let's hear it.
Oh, I'm definitely back. Definitely.
What I would want to know then is, where is he definitely back from?
Well, firstly I say, is there any chance we can run that clip again? Because as hard as Ian Cuthbertson plays that part, right, watch how camp his reaction is to his bathroom exploding.
I think we can
we
do
see
that.
that?
Let's have
Just
another
enjoy
look.
this again, this is fantastic. Here we go. Up here.
Looked like a little horse there.
Yeah.
Almost pranced.
Like a prize
It's a
pony.
very actory thing, isn't it? Oh, no, the face, no, the face!
I would love to see the TripAdvisor review for that hotel.
Yeah.
The view is beautiful, but the bathroom keeps exploding for some reason. 4 stars.
But if you were a gangster and you were away, where would you come back from?
Isn't he back from London? Hasn't he come back from being a successful gangster down south?
Well, I'm going to give you a point for that, Neil Oliver. I would also have accepted jail. But it was Soho. He's actually just back from prison. There's been a great tradition of Scottish actors playing English hard men. Can the panellists think of any that we can recall?
Gerard Kelly in EastEnders was tremendous. He was glowering and he was brilliant in EastEnders, Gerard Kelly. He was great.
I think the fact that Gerard Kelly, one of the campest men in Scotland, went down and played a hard man just shows how hard Scottish people actually are.
On to Ronnie's team. Say when.
Go on, give it a tap now.
This is your room.
Gracias. And that's not the last word in class, it's sophistication, by the way.
You're no kidding, you're right there, mate.
Here, get up that bed, I gotta look at the mattress.
Oh, never heat a mattress. We're in Spain, for God's sake, eh? Spain! I mean, who would have thought we'd love to see a day when trash like us was buying stuff like flip-flops and insect repellent, eh?
From the first series broadcast by BBC Scotland in 1990, the great Rab C. Nesbitt and Mary Doll in Benidorm, enjoying a well-deserved break from lifelong unemployment. How did Rab and Mary Doll end up in Spain? Ronnie's team.
How did they end up in Spain?
Yes.
I don't know, but I hope to God it wasn't a house swap.
Did they collect 94,000 gingy bottles?
Did they rent the Wains out for medical experiments?
Did they win it on Wheel of Fortune?
It was prize-related. Does that help any of you?
So they were...
Describe Spain in less than 10 words. 10 words or less.
That kind of thing. No.
12.
No. Well, what actually happened was that Mary Doll won a competition on the back of a bag of oven chips.
Surely they should have gone to Greece then.
Come on, I think any experiences yourself, Mark, of being a Scot abroad?
I did a stand-up gig in New York last month, and the accent, you really have to slow it down, as you'll know, beyond belief, to where you're saying a word about every 10 hours for them to understand you.
My sister had a lovely experience being, one of the benefits of being Scottish, she was getting the bus from Chile to Argentina at 3 in the morning. Let's not wonder why. It was about penguins. She got to the Argentinian border and it was full of these armed guards, lots of them. My sister, who's even shorter than me, was slightly trepidatious about this, and they said, give us your passport. And they looked at the passport and they all looked out and just shouted, freedom! And let her in. And I think at that point she was like that. Thank you very much. Yes, William Wallace, Mel Gibson. Yeah, totally.
Looking at the scores, I can see that the game is rather like Jeanette Cranky up the beanstalk, delicately poised, it's neck and neck. It's time for Name That Theme Tune. In this round, we went out onto the streets of Scotland and asked the public to sing the theme tunes from our favourite Scottish shows. All you have to do is identify them. Ronnie, let's hear our first singers.
Da 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 dee 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 do mo ka dee 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 dee
I have to say the two girls in the fur were tremendous. Well done.
That's the latest incarnation of the Sugar Babes, apparently.
We know what it is.
We know what it is.
We know what it is.
Tell us what you think
Alice,
it is.
do you want to do the
No,
honours?
I'll leave it to you. On you go.
It's Ballamore.
Ballamore, you reckon? Let's find out. It was indeed Ballamore from the BBC, a show set on a fictional Scottish island inhabited by a bizarre cast of characters who sing and dance their way through life, like the Wicker Man for toddlers. Sanjeev's team, here's a different theme tune, no doubt beautifully sung.
Dun 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 dun.
That's simple.
Really,
It's just
Newsnight Scotland.
Yeah, simplest thing I've ever. I don't think any of them were singing the same thing, to be honest with you.
More keys than a Janny's bunch. I've no idea what was going on. Do you?
Is that recorded outside a home for the bewildered?
It did sound a wee bit like Jimmy Shan being waterboarded, but here's more clues. Not laughing at, laughing with.
He was doing that lovely thing that sometimes people do when someone's singing. So if Sanjay's singing, I'm just enjoying myself.
Yes.
So I'm just like...
Yeah. Well, Susan, you think you got it right, don't you?
Yes, it's casualty. No.
It was medical, right?
Yes, Dr. Finley's casebook.
Yes, definitely was. Dr. Finley's casebook. Let's hear how it should have sounded. First broadcast by the BBC in 1962. However, when it came to the General Medical Council's attention that Dr. Finley was sharing his casebook with the nation, the show was cancelled under the Data Protection Act and he was struck off. Undeterred, lead actor Bill Simpson went on to present the ill-fated DIY show Dr. Finley's Bookcase. Hi, thank you. And thanks to all our singers and those who joined in with the dancing at home. If you've just joined us, I'm testing my guest knowledge of television broadcasts in Scotland over the past 60 years. It's time for What Happens Next. I'll play a lesser-known clip from the archive that's seen less daylight than an Aberdonian goth. I'll be making liberal use of the pause button and asking our panellists to make an educated guess as to what happens next. Sanjeev's team. Here's a rather stunning clip from Miss Scotland, broadcast by BBC Scotland in 1979. Before it starts, I should point out that the first three people we see at the start of the clip are not contestants.
I never knew you looked so good. I never knew anyone could. I must have been crazy to ever have gone away, yeah.
All right then, the first of our 7 finalists, it's Miss Montrose, Dorothy Walker.
And I think you're actually going to do a PhD, aren't you? How far
That's
into
right.
that are you?
Well, as soon as I get my grant, I'd like to start on my PhD, which is all about...
Well, we just saw Dorothy Walker, or as she's better known, Miss Montrose, which incidentally is the perfect tourist slogan for that place. What do you think her PhD was in? And can I also just say, at the start I said that the first 3 people were not contestants, but the bloke on the left was actually runner-up that year.
Well, first
What's
of
her
all,
PhD in?
we should explain to our younger viewers what a grant is.
Yeah. In a mythical time.
In the mythical time
Yes.
of dragons and
Yes.
unicorns, it was a cheque that you could just take straight to the off licence,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, Grant actually was the 3rd dancer. Because the first 2 were clearly Paul Coyer and Dougie Donnelly.
If it's 1979, does she go on to be the leader of the Conservative Party and then the First Lady Prime Minister?
She didn't, but her hair did.
I'd like to point out at this juncture that my lady wife was Miss Falkirk, 1986. And finished 6th in the Miss Scotland final of the same year.
Oh.
Tell me this, did you have a choice between Miss Falkirk and Miss Grangemouth?
That's not the way it works.
I don't know, what was her PhD?
What was her PhD in? I think she was a molecular biologist, or just
Yeah.
a really small biologist.
She sounds like a historian to me.
A historian?
Historian, you reckon?
Let's go for history.
Yeah.
Let's
We'll
go for history.
Go for history.
You're not that far off the mark. Let's find out.
I'd like to start on my PhD, which is all about the domestication of the cat. And I've actually got a site, a cat cemetery in Egypt, which I'm going to start digging, hopefully quite soon.
That's quite rude. Those cats have been laid to rest. You don't go as Miss Montrose and dig up someone's grave.
Did you go in? I'm Miss Montrose. Get me a spade. Is that how it works?
I'm digging up these cats and I'm going to find out if they were domesticated. End of.
Neil, I have to ask you, once you dug up a cat, domesticated or otherwise, how could you determine if it was domesticated? If it was like that, when you dug it up,
Well, the dangerous cats tend to be like yay big, and your domesticated cat tends to be like this big.
Surely a domesticated cat would be buried holding a can opener or something.
What did you say? A domesticated cat would be buried.
with a can opener, so that it could open the tins of whiskers
Oh,
at the
I
other
see.
side.
I thought you were being... Because I've got 3 of them, and...
You got 3 can openers.
Yeah.
You're doing well.
My cats have slippers. That's how you know they're domesticated. They've all got little pairs of
That they
slippers.
knitted themselves.
Little slippers.
You've got your cat slippers?
Yes. What's wrong with making my cats
4
wear
slippers each?
Yeah. Well, you can't have their back paws cold, Ronnie.
Don't they walk on their hind legs?
Do they always walk around in their slippers?
Not always. If they're going out, they wear proper shoes.
I think we'll find that Miss Montrose is coming back out of retirement to look into the over-domestication of the cat. Can we have another wee look at the dancers? Let's have a look at them.
Is that just you? Is that what
I must have been crazy to ever have gone away.
Actually, you might recognise some of them. 2 of them went down to appear as hard men down south. Team Ronnie, this next clip is from a BBC series called About Britain from 1954. Richard Dimbleby is interviewing the doughty Dame Flora, the 28th chief of Clan MacLeod on the Isle of Skye.
Doesn't matter a bit where we live. Wherever a MacLeod is, he feels that he's akin to all the other MacLeods.
That must be a nice,
Wonderful.
cosy family feeling. Lovely.
Wonderful.
You say no matter where you live. I assume by your love and understanding of all this that you were born and brought up here.
Well, actually, I wasn't.
So, if it wasn't Skye, where do you think Dame Flora, the chief of the Clan MacLeod, was born?
Actually, it wasn't here. It was in a small croft in Kensington.
I'm just trying to picture her leading the clan into battle against the English.
Come along. Come here. Just some of the English are my best friends. Hello, Doreen. How are you?
Well, we can actually now find out where she was born. You weren't so far off saying a wee croft in Kensington.
I was born in 10 Downing Street.
Downing Street?
You look rather surprised, Mr. Dimbleby.
I love how she delivers that line like she's a Bond villain. You look rather surprised, Mr. Dimbleby, but now you must die. If you're born in 10 Downing Street nowadays, the midwife would probably slap the baby and then quickly move on to George Osborne and Nick Clegg. Finally, for this round, a clip of First Class made in 1984 by BBC Scotland and presented by Louise Batchelor and her earrings.
So, with Bankery in the lead, it's time for our first visit to the sports arena. Bankery have chosen Martin to play for them, and Ewan is running for North Berwick.
Is it lovely how those graphics haven't dated at all?
Well, this is for everyone. What do you think they're just about to do in the sports arena?
I think they're going to use the earrings as beacons to attract UFOs. It would appear they're large enough, I think, to do that.
Belters, weren't they?
Yeah.
Not fight to the death, is it?
They didn't fight to the death, although that would have been entertaining in television.
Was it that fantastically sophisticated computer game of that era where you went like that to run the 100 metres?
Daley Thompson's decathlon or something like that.
Was it one of those ones?
Do you know what I like about your answer, Sanjeev, is that you're smiling there, and your smile is going to be even more complete when you find out.
Oh. So, Martin and Ewan, fingers on the controls. We're off to a better start, but Bankery are streaking away there. Bankery have made it easily. North Berwick High, bad luck. So, Bankery are the winners with 2 points. Well done, Martin.
Well done indeed. Well, you might wonder who thought that was a good idea for a TV show. We did! Ronnie and Sanjeev, under your desk you'll find a game controller right there for you to play with.
You are kidding.
Oh, this is so brilliant. Oh, God.
Happy days.
What is it? I'm quite nervous, actually.
You're nervous, I'm terrified. Sanjeev, you're the runner on the top. Ronnie, you are on the bottom. Good luck. If you're all set to go, 3, 2, 1, go! That's it, you're past the 20-metre mark. Ronnie is in the lead. Mark's giving her a bit of a hand there. Come on, Sanjeev, you're trailing behind. He's just holding it. That's him at the 70-metre mark. Come on, Sanjeev, you can still do it. Just hold it. Oh! Ronnie Alcona has won. Looking back. Well done, Ronnie. So, at the end of part 1, let's see what the scoreboard says. It says there's everything to play for. We'll be back at 10:30 for more fantastic Scots in the Box. But before we go, here's a sketch to keep you guessing. It's from Chewing the Fat, broadcast by the BBC in 2004. Watch closely and count how many mans are in the clip.
Do you do Walkmans, man?
Walkmans, man. Tenor, man.
Does it play this, man?
No, that's a Discman, man. You need the Discman, man.
The Discman, man?
Aye, for playing your Discman, man. What is that, Discman?
Anchorman, man.
Anchorman's a movie, man. You need a DVD, man.
Oh, man. No Walkman, no Discman, man. What's for a DVD, man?
Ton, man.
Ton, man. You're a highwayman, man.
I'll tell you the answer when we return. See you soon.